G'day folks, in this video I'm going to be unboxing an Arch-Nemesis bandaged kit plus another couple of cubes. Well, this has been wrapped better than anything I think I've ever seen. It must have 5 kilos of tape around it, which I certainly am not complaining about. I'm just not even sure. This is part of the puzzle, I think. Where do I start? Just give me a minute here. Oh my goodness. Okay, that was insane. Now, this video is going to be cutting in and out because a couple of reasons. One, I'm not entirely sure exactly what I'm looking at. Like, I know what it is, but I'm not sure what it is. And also, I'm very nervous about not doing this puzzle the justice that it needs. Forgive me if it seems a little bit disjointed. I'll probably come away, have a think about it, have a look, have a play with it, and then make a second part to it. But let's just get everything out first, if I can. At the moment, you'll be thinking, oh, isn't this just the DIY bandage kit? No, it definitely is not. Okay, that's a note. Yes, I shall. Once I get all the stuff out. Okay, I think that is everything. Goodbye to the box. What have we got here? Okay, we've got firstly a couple of the blank bandaged cubes which go with these things. So we know what that is. We know what that is. I'm going to put that aside. All of these things, I think, are the normal parts of the bandage cube. They go there. Yep, they're all still wrapped up. This stuff here is the key stuff. Now, these two are unrelated to this. So the first thing is I'm going to put this aside and have a look at these two cubes. These are like a little bonus. And I'm not really sure what I'm looking at here, but I've got two puzzles. So give me a second. I'm going to read the README and see what I need to know. Okay, so you would have seen from the title that this is been sent to me by Dave Hickey. And he's a Twisty Puzzles Forum member. I've had a lot of contact with him over the past few months. Really enjoyed it. I think we have quite similar views on life, which is always good. So he sent this to me personally, and the thing that I'm really titling this review or this unboxing of the Archer's kit or the Arch-Nemesis kit, that's this thing here, which I will get to. What I want to just do quickly first is look at these two puzzles. These were thrown in as a special gift, and so I want to read what he's got. The first one that we can see the actual pattern straight away, this one's called the Dot Matrix Cube. So what he's done is got all these designs in his head, and he's created quite a few of them and put them down. Whole bunch of sticker mods. Once again, I've got to unwrap this. Okay, so this is what he's called the Dot Matrix Cube. This is the design from Dave Hickey. I'm going to read out what he's written. This is a sticker mod I created around 4 years ago. Nearly solved it, but then got lost halfway through an algorithm and totally messed it up. Had a couple of goes later and never seemed to get anywhere with it. So this is the actual cube that he made that he's obviously gone, let's let someone else have a look at it. It looks a little rough around the edges, as this was only the second design I came up with. Really didn't know what I was doing back then, making stickers. It doesn't look that rough to me. I suppose I can see what he's saying, but hey, I've seen a lot worse cubes than this. All right, the solution. All you need to do to solve it is to get the edge of each cubie to match with the dot matrix pattern of all the cubies next to it, then across the entire cube. The edge of each cubie to match with the dot matrix pattern of all the cubies next to it. So that's got to match with that. So at the moment, I'm looking at that going, okay, this seems like a sort of almost like a super cube pattern. It looks complicated, and I suppose it is, but it is easier than you think to line up the cubies so that they match. The problem is, have you chosen the correct one? I'm sure you'll have lots of fun solving it. I'm not sure it will be good for a video, as your viewers will struggle to see what you are doing. So maybe just something for a quiet evening on your own. Well, initially looking at it, yes, it looks as though it would function as a super cube, but I can straight away see, because this doesn't have a center, this is a 4x4 cube, obviously there is no fixed center on it. How are you going to start if this is scrambled to go and get, I suppose, the correct centers? And how are you going to know that they're the correct centers? I think that's what he means by it looks complicated. Yeah, it actually does. So that's the dot matrix cube design. Copyright Dave Hickey. This next one, this one is the ILL cube. So this one, I think he has specifically printed these stickers for me. I'm not sure. This is one of my more recent designs from a few years back. And again, I couldn't solve it, but at least I love the honesty. There's heaps of cubes I can't solve either. But at least I'd got the hang of hand making stickers by then. So the finish is much better. The solution. Okay, all you need to do to solve the ILL cube is after scrambling it, get it back into the same state that you started, where each face has the letters I, L, and L on it. Ah, I see. Okay, looking at it now, yes, ILL. And where each individual character is made up of the exact same color. Right, yes, so that's a red I. It's a yellow L. Okay, got that. But where each of the three characters are all different colors. Okay, so I can't have a red I and a red L. Got it. So there's actually only three colors on this cube, which makes it, I'm going to assume, slightly harder. Again, it sounds complicated, but it isn't, and I know you will enjoy solving this one as well. Well, that's pretty cool. So this one, I'd almost be tempted to scramble it now, except I want to have a little look at it first. So thank you, Dave. That's my two freebie cubes. Let's put them over there. And I'm already just pondering, looking at them now, going, they are definitely not basic cubes. Okay, on to the main event. This is the Arch-Nemesis Bandaged kit. So a number of months back, Dave posted on the Twisty Puzzles forum a thread called the Arch-Nemesis Bandaged kit. And what it was called the Arch-Nemesis. Really clever title because it's made up of arches, and Nemesis obviously is something that's like your worst enemy. So an arch in English also means the most or the worst type thing, as in, trying to think of a word. It's not just an arch, it's actually the highest. So this is the highest Nemesis cube. And the idea of it was that it was supposed to be used with a standard DIY bandaged kit. Now, as soon as I saw this on the forum, I went, must have. Like, I just looked at that instantly and went, must have. Didn't know how I was going to get it. I can tell you at the moment that there have been some discussions with various companies, I think, to get this mass produced. And man, I hope it is mass produced because I know heaps of people would love this. But I've also got to say that there's a chance that it may not be. And if that is the case, I can tell you that he will not be making any more. I'm sure there will be people who will be out there going, really? Are you sure he wouldn't just do one more? I've been told that, no, he doesn't really want to do that. I'm extremely honoured that he's made this one for me. He did it at cost. Again, really appreciate that. So I've not really had to pay any extra than the parts here, which is great. Didn't charge me for his time or anything like that. But yeah, I'm so intrigued by this. I was intrigued when I saw it. Even now I'm looking at it going, oh, they're much smaller than I thought. I suppose on the pictures it just looks bigger than it is, perhaps. But then again, it's all got to fit with a bandaged cube. Okay, I've been rambling while I get this unlocked. And again, I'm going to have to read what he's written because there's various components here and I'm not entirely sure what I'm looking at. So these things have all been entirely handmade by him. So I know that he bought all the bits and the parts. So these are obviously off a bandaged kit. Then these parts have been glued to each of those. So the idea is, you can see straight away, that's going to stick on there. And suddenly what we've got at this point, we do have a strip that can go across there on the normal bandage kit. That will bandage all three of them. If we stick this on, well, that's now bandaged those two together. However, and I'm assuming this is true, if I can get stuff lined up, this one doesn't seem to turn that well. I'm going to try the other one. I think that had issues before. So look at that again. I should be able... Oh, no, actually, I can't now that I'm thinking of it. That's the issue. I was just stupidly... Oh, actually... Yes, I was right. Okay, you can do that. You can turn that slice, and it's been designed. You can see it's quite a precision design here, that it's only just going underneath. Now, of course, as I stick them down more, I think it's going to be even closer, but it is still, I'm sure, going to go through. Look at that. That is amazing. It just looks to me like it's going to hit it, but it's not hitting it at all. So you've got these two bandaged. Now, where can you put these things? Well, you can see that I think there's 18 of these things. I'm not entirely sure. I think there should be 3 of each colour, is there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, maybe there's more. I thought there was 18, but just looking at that now, there looks to be 4 of each colour. So I've got 24 of those little arches. You might say, why not 6? Well, you can't really. How could you put, boy, you could put 1, 2, 3 like that. Now, are these the same height? That's the next thing. Is there one of them that is a different height? Keep in mind, I haven't read what he's written yet. So at some point, I'm going to read that and all my questions will be answered. Well, look at that. I've got 3 of one height. This is the kind of genius that you've got here, folks. 3 of one kind. I'm talking about me. And 1 that's smaller. Okay, so this smaller one, I would imagine the aim of the smaller one is to do something like that. So when you turn it, that smaller one, does it go under there? That's what it seems like it should do to me, but it's not. So I probably need to read things now. Okay, let's have a read. Okay, use your original cube twist bandage cube and tiles in any combination that you like with the arches bandaging tiles, both upper and lower. So that's what we're looking at here. I'm assuming that's lower, that's upper, or do I have 2 of each? What do I have? Hang on, maybe I've got 2 lowers. Oh, if only I was a genius. Okay, so now that I go upper and lower, he must be, if he was dead, he'd be turning over in his grave watching me do this. There we go. It was what I thought. So you've got the upper, taller ones, and then you've got these lower ones that can go under the upper ones. And once that's stuck down properly, which I have not done yet, you can see that is going to go straight underneath. Again, look at that. That's just beautifully precision. If I could speak today, I'd be so happy. Beautifully designed with precision. There we go. Okay, so use the uppers and lowers. What else has he written for me? You can just use the arches by themselves. The single interference cubies are extras that can be used individually or in combination to block slice movement through the lower arches. The single interference. Now, I think that's what these are, because these certainly do not look like anything that came from the original pack. So what do we have here? Single interference cubies. These have got magnets somehow, because you can sort of see them sticking to each other. So what have we got here? 1, 2, 3 of each color, I'm assuming it looks like. And what did he say? The single interference cubies used individually or in combination to block slice movement through the lower arches. Okay, to block slice movement. I've got to figure out where on earth to put that. I think I know what's going on. So if I have, do I have to put this anywhere on this slice? No, that's still going to turn, isn't it? Or is it? Block slice movement through the lower arches, so it's going to turn through here. Oh, hang on. I got to learn English. Through the lower arches. Do I do that? Yes. Okay. This is why I said I'm going to have to go away and have a proper play with this and get my head around what exactly is going on. So the original idea, let me just kind of come back a little bit here. Can I just, don't want to break anything. I think it's pretty robust. The original idea was the arches themselves. So the arches were the taller ones. And so, for example, you might have an arch there. You may, what would work? I don't know what happens if I put one there. What if I do an arch there on that orange face? And what else? An arch here. I've got no idea what's going to make for a good. So straight away, I normally could turn that, but now that has blocked it. So that has been blocked. If I do that, I can turn like that. Okay, this is where this is going to become fascinating. Even with two arches, you can see, and I've got no other pieces on here, but you can see how, I guess, blocked or convoluted this is going to become. Yeah, I'm going to have to make a design and have a play with it. That's the original thing. So the arches. Then the extension kit was these lower arches, which could go underneath the upper arches, if I've got that right. Which if I had it like that, you can see, yes, that'll turn. And then the interference cubies, I still haven't quite got that right in my head, whether I'm supposed to put that here or here. And please don't judge me, I'm just not that smart. Let me read a little bit more here. The lower arches will thread through the upper arches, but not vice versa. So again, blocking some directional movements when used in combination. Yes, so the lower arches, yep, will go through the upper arches, which is what we've done here. And that, is that okay? I can do that, yes, but not vice versa. In other words, the upper ones won't go through the lower ones. Yes, it makes sense. I would suggest to start with, during your unboxing, that you apply one of the lower arches to the center of any color matched face, scramble it and solve it live. Mate, you've put me on the spot. If I'd known you were going to write that, I wouldn't have read it out. Just to get a taste of what these arches can do and how much fun they are. I will then suggest that later you apply an upper arch over the top of the same lower arch. By this time, I think you'll be hooked. Well, I've got to tell you, Dave, I'm hooked now. There might be well over 40,000 different combinations of bandaged cubes you can make with this system. Pretty much every one of them will be totally new and never seen before. Okay, so basically he's said you can retire now. Thank you very much. Tip, get used to using your middle finger like a speed cuber. If I knew what that meant, I'd be happy. To perform your center slice moves with the Archer's cube. Kindest regards, Arline, and I'm sure you'll have lots of fun with these cubes. I look forward to seeing all your videos working with the Archer's bandaging kit, as I think you'll be making lots of them. What's a funny thing? I mean, maybe I so appreciate having this one of a kind, and this is actually one of a kind because the puzzle that Dave himself has, the first one that he made, only has the upper arches. I don't think his has the lower arches or the interference cubies. So this really is a one of a kind. I feel incredibly honoured and valued, and I thank you for that, Dave. I just hope as much as he does that some company comes to the party here and goes, that is a great design, let's sell this, make a bunch of money, because I'm sure heaps of people would pay a lot of money to get one of these things in their hands. You can see how crazy this is going to become. Look, I probably will take his advice and I'll cut away and come back with a cube ready to go and see how we go. Okay, so a couple of things here. The first thing is I remember why there was a second cube included, and that was to store these arches. Now, it's obviously not, is it going to store all of them? Yes, it is actually, because how many are there? There should be, wait a minute, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3 reds. 1, 2, 3, 4 yellows. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4 blues, 4 yellows, 4 greens, 4 reds, 4 whites. I've got some spare oranges by the look of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I've already got one on here, 6. Okay. Not entirely sure why I've got the spare oranges. However, the rest of them, if I've got this correct, what have I got? 2 of each, 2 tall, 2 small. That is the storage cube. So they're all going to be stored like that, which is fantastic. That's the exact sort of thing I want. So I will get them stored later. The extra orange pieces, I'm not sure. Maybe they're just spares. Let's get them out of the way. The interference cubies, there's 3, I think we said. Is there 3? Hang on. 1, 3 yellows, 3 blues. Oh no, is that red or orange? That's red. 3 reds. Okay, so there's no orange interference cubies, but there's extra orange pieces. I'm not sure if that's deliberate. Not sure about much. Let me put them over there. I'll sort the storage out at a later time. There's my 2 spare orange tiles from this one. So what Dave said, you remember I read it out. He said, I suggest to start during your video that you apply one of the lower arches to the center of any color matched face and scramble it and solve it live. So I was assuming that would mean, you know, no other bandaged parts. Now, what I think I'm going to do is actually just change this to a white purely because something in my head will say, yes, it should be on the white face or maybe the yellow face. I'm not sure. I deliberately have not stuck these down because anyone who's played with these will know, unless you come up with a good system, which I do actually have for my other ones, it is quite difficult sometimes to get them off. And so I don't want to do that until I am ready. So I'm going to certainly stick that one there. That's fine. This yellow one just goes there. Got the orange. I've got the orange. Okay. So yes, normally what I'm going to do, I believe I can stick these, just push them down quite happily and they will come out quite happily again. But yeah, that seemed pretty good. The little tiles, I'll get to them at another point. So in terms of scrambling, if this is a normal 3x3, what can I do? What can't I do? So I would go I can scramble everything on the face. You can see that's become scrambled straight away, but whatever these are on, they cannot move. So also I can't do that. If I want to scramble, let's say this piece, what do? I've got to essentially, I think the idea would be to take it to the other face and do some scrambling up there with these left and right faces. That would have to go. Okay, so that looks reasonably scrambled. So let's just see. Now, white, blue, and white, green, that's where I happen to place it. So they can't really separate from their orbit. I can certainly do the slice turns. This is the whole middle finger thing. Is that what he means? I don't know. I'm not a speed cuber, so I don't really know the terminology. I mean, I am a speed cuber. It's just my time is generally 2.5 minutes on a good day. So I'm not quite at the position of other speed cubers yet. Okay. So these are fixed. I'll just say, right, well, the first thing is I've got to get them. I've got to get them above the white center somehow. So we'll turn that back in. I suppose if I was doing this, I would say, what is next? White, orange, which is going to go there. So turn that. And then, is that turned back? No, because I've got to have them with the correct centers. So the white, orange actually needs to go there. Okay, that's better. The white, red is over here. Now, normally for something like this, I would turn that down and then bring this up. But you can see I can't bring that up because of this arch bandaging it. So what do? I turn it like that. If I turn it there, does that change anything? So I think what I'm just going to have to do is sort of flip this somehow so that it is on that side. Okay. All right. Now, a few methods that I could solve this with the corners. I could do 3 corners here and then go that way, or I could do all corners last. What if for this one, I just attempt to get all the edges in place first and see how that goes? orange blue. Okay, interesting, because again, I would normally just do like an up, up, down, down, but I can't. So instead of that, I have to do something like, okay, like that. So using, it's basically not turning this bottom layer now. If I'm going to call the white the bottom layer, this one here, that's okay. Let's get some top layer. Where's the yellow blue? Is there. Now I feel like this is going to be slightly more interesting because even if, let's say I want to flip that yellow blue, there's a couple of methods that you can do that with. A common method is FUR, U prime, R prime, F prime. Now, if I want to do an F, I'd have to turn it like that so that I can do my F turn. Then the U is okay. Then I've got to do an R, but then I'd have to turn that back. Now, I think that takes out this white piece straight away. Now, whether it FUR, U prime, R prime, now I turn it back and do the F, but I can't do the F prime. Do I leave it there? Put it back. Okay, that is actually okay. And it has flipped that yellow blue. It's flipped another one as well. I can't remember what one. But again, if I just turn that off and now bring that down, bring it up. This is definitely upped the difficulty. Like, it's not majorly more difficult, but having said that, I've just knocked that out, have I? Yes, I have. I have knocked that one out. So how do I want to turn that. I'm going to have to do this. And turn that back. Okay. I'm back to kind of where I was, but I also have those two at the back. I've got 3 left here. Yellow, green in position. Okay, I've got a swap. So let's say that I would normally... Now, this is probably okay because I can use things like sune. So I've turned that one turn. Now I want to replace the blue, the yellow blue. Now I want to replace this yellow red over there. They are back in position. I still have that. That's got to go there. That's got to go there. So now I've got a standard 3 cycle and I've got to turn that one to there. That's the one that's going to come over and flip. And again, this is kind of annoying because I would just normally turn the front face and the right face. I think I still have to do turning this out the way, and I feel like that's going to really disrupt stuff if I do it. For example, if I turn that like that in order to turn the front face, that one, okay, here's the problem. So this is involved in the 3 cycle. I've got to turn that in order to get... I wonder if I can. Yeah, I was just going to say I've got to turn that in order to get this moving. But as soon as I now turn the front face, the next turn, I'm going to have to turn this face, which means I've got to turn that back, and it takes this one right out of where it should be. The next thing I'm wondering is, can I put this arch on a different face while I... Is that possible even? I mean, I can move it like that, but then it takes the centers out. So if it's in the center, not so easy. So the next thing I'd be looking at doing to make this slightly simpler is to say, let's just go and get all the pieces flipped first. In other words, I'm going to place the orange green into here. So I'm going to do 4 middle layer edges. And how am I going to do that? I'm going to get that out of the way and just go like that. That's placed. These white ones are still okay. And then look at what's up here. So these both need flipping. I'm going to attempt to flip them in the same way that I flipped them before, which was a front turn, which means I've got to get that out of the way. So front, up, and then I've got to turn it back to do a right turn, and an up prime, right prime, and then I've got to turn that like that and go front. Does that all come back normally? Oh, it actually does, and it did flip stuff as well. So that is possible to do. Hey, I'm sure there's way other methods than what I'm doing here. What do I have now? A yellow-red in position. I've got 3 that I can now use a sune to cycle. So I'll just need, the beauty of a sune, of course, is that it only uses the upper face and the right face. So at the moment I can't turn the right face, but I can just move that out. The other thing is it only affects pieces on the upper face. So turning this out the way, no big deal. I can now do that to cycle those 3 pieces around. I'll put that back. I've got all my edges in. This is the first time I've done this, so I reckon, I'll probably come up with a more decent, more efficient method if I thought more about this, and I am doing it live, so don't judge me. I haven't even done the corners yet. Okay, now what's involved in the corners? I think the corners are actually going to be easier, believe it or not, because I would use a corner piece series which involves turning this face, turning this face, and turning this face. And you can see that because of the positioning of the arch, all of those faces are available. So I think what I would do is just start by saying, is there a corner that I can go and deal with initially? Let's say I want that to go across to there. So I want to turn that. I want to turn that. Now, as soon as I turn that as the right face, it blocks my upper face. So I can't have the arch on a right face. I certainly can have it on a down face, and I certainly can have it on a back face. So the thing, I can't have it on a back face unless it's like that. So it can't be like that on the back face because that blocks these turns. Okay, so what that tells me then is I'm going to try and solve these 4 on the white face first. And I might have to do that up on another face. Yellow, red. That really wants to roll there, but the problem is it's right next to this arch. And I think that's another reason to get these 4 done first, because they're the most problematic ones. That's going to there. Where's the white, red, blue? Over here. Now what happens? Okay, that's actually not too bad. And what I want to do here is keep that on the down face and now turn that up to the top. So the only thing I really care about is this one going to here. And I've now got a setup where I can do that. So it's a corner piece series turning this face anti-clockwise first. And this is what I meant by there's no blockage once I do this. Okay, now I have to put that back, and I had one set up over here somewhere. Okay, that's the first one in. Where's the white, blue, orange? There, which has got to go to here. Now, if I put that to that position, what's got to go on the top? The white. That's no good there because of that positioning. However, this is where this becomes nice. I'd actually like to do a cycle like that to get the white to come over there. That's in the way. So what I'm going to do is just turn that slice off. I think that'll work just fine. Okay, let's put the slice back. Let's put that back and you can see, good, that's done. Okay, so that's 2 of them done there. White, orange, green. Now again, the white has got to go, what if I do, I've got to have it turning like that. This is now on the bottom. That's okay, so that's got to roll to there. I'll involve this one. It's on the bottom, but at the moment it's blocked, so I just need to turn that as a setup, and now I should be good. Turn that back and turn them back. That looks like 3 of them done. And the last one, white, red, green, is that one there. The green has got to go across, so that's looking good. And again, this is the key, I think, just being able to turn that as a slice turn. So I turn it to the bottom, and then I'm just going to have to do a turn like that. I think now I'm good. Okay. Which way was it? That way. Slice turn. Yep, those 4 are done. You can see why, hopefully why I was saying I think the corners will actually be a bit easier because, and to me they are, because it's just a matter of working out what you want to do and then just moving the arch down to the bottom face and orienting it, because once it's on the bottom, you can just turn that bottom face and it's out of the way. Now I happen to have these last 2 already done. I've got a couple of twists here. Now, normally with twists, I would do sort of up, up, down, down, then turn the upper face and then undo all that, which involves 3 faces around a corner. Now, is that actually possible here if I have it on the back, let's say the back face? That will turn. If I put it like that, now the upper face won't turn. So I feel like that's going to be problematic, and because of that, I think I will do the sune and then the sune mirror. Which means, yeah, I want it like that. I want this one at the front. That's got to go anti-clockwise. If I hold it like that, does that make it easier? Yes, it does. So that's anti-clockwise, that's clockwise. And the only thing now is to get this thing out of the way. To get that out of the way, I am going to do that, and then do that. Now, is that enough? I don't like that setup is already more annoying than it should be. What if I do that one? No, and that's going to then take that out of contention. So let's go with what I had. I might actually have to do what I thought. And then just turn this clockwise. I mean, this will work. I just have to remember those 3 setups. So I've just got to remember to turn the bottom face anti-clockwise when I finish. That's got to go anti, that's got to go clock. So I do a sune. And then a sune mirror. Now, turn that anti-clockwise, bring that back, and now turn this. Okay, so that all worked. Well, definitely a great idea of just putting one arch and nothing else. You can see hopefully straight away, you would think, it's really going to do anything? Yeah, it certainly has. And I'm not going to do any more, both for the timing of the video, but also my own pride. I definitely think I could make that a more efficient solve and figure out what's the best method and the most efficient way to do it. But you can see straight away, wow, that's going to be unbelievable. And as soon as you start doing things like, let's say that I've got an upper arch here and I perhaps replace, in fact, let's make it a blue upper arch, and put it there. Okay, and then what that's now doing is I've got actually 2 arches, which is instantly going to make this worse. I think this is actually what he suggested. Let's have a look. And later apply an upper arch over the top of the same lower arch. Well, I think what he was saying is do that. Now that also could be interesting, but if I put this one here, you can see that the lower arch is going to go through. I got a comment again on how close and well designed this is. I'm not going to try and say the word precision, but there you go. Wow, this is fantastic. Great puzzle. Man alive. If you want to see this produced, please write to whatever puzzle company you know, give them the URL of this video and say, please watch this video and go produce this kit. I would buy it because I think heaps of people would buy this stuff. It's a worthy kit. So thanks heaps for Dave for making this kit for me, this unique puzzle. I'm so sorry for those who will be looking at this going, where do I get one? At this point, you can't. But yeah, hopefully there'll be some interesting videos coming out. And as always with my channel, thanks for watching.